Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Hello and welcome to Guerrilla Cricket for coverage of this, the third T20 international between Afghanistan and Ireland from the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium in Dehra Dun, when this whole series has taken place. Ireland, I'm afraid, Ireland fans have been on the receiving end of a couple of, well, one absolute tonking and one comfortable defeat. And so this is what they call a dead rubber, but there's no such thing as a dead rubber as there in international cricket. And you'll hear every ball of this exciting game with us here on Guerrilla Cricket. You're listening to Grubby in the central missionary position. To my left in the tweet seat I have none other than Roger McCann.
Good afternoon, Grubby, thank you, and thanks to everyone who's listening to this unseasonably warm day in southeast London. It's cricket weather in where we are. Yeah. Isn't it exciting?
Has the season started yet?
I feel like I'm ready to go, yeah.
February? Yeah, why not? And in the jingle chair, the one, the only, the not, Fred Titmus.
Morning, Grabby. Morning, everyone.
Good morning. Any thoughts on going into this game? You've been checking out the odds, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, I actually missed yesterday's game. I did catch up with the scorecards. Some interesting numbers up and down.
Well, indeed. Yes.
And, not surprisingly, Ireland have won the toss and elected to bowl, because that bit was about falling off the horse and getting straight back on it. They've probably talked about things that they can do differently in this game, and they'll be interested in putting them into action straight away.
They have indeed. So I'll run through the team very quickly for you. As Fred mentioned, Ireland have won the toss and elected to field. They line up as follows: Sterling, O'Brien, Balbirnie, Kate, Thompson, Simi Singh, Stuart Pointer, the wicketkeeper, Dockrell, Josh Little, Rankin, Peter Chase, and Lorcan Tucker misses out this time in favour of Stuart Thompson. And Afghanistan make 4 changes. Karim Janat, Samiullah Shinwari, Farid Ahmed and Mujib, the men to miss out. And they line up as follows: Hazratullah Zazai, the hero from yesterday, Usman Ghani, Shafiqullah, Mohammed Nabi, Najibullah Zadran, Ashgar Afghan, the captain, Rashid Khan, and then the new bowling attack really: Najib Tarakari, Sharafuddin Ashraf, Saeed Shizad and Zia-ur-Rahman, who makes his international debut today.
Yeah, and surprise perhaps opening the bowling for Ireland is going to be this chap.
Yeah, just saying this sounded good, some person.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be coming round the wicket with his right arm off breaks. Bowls now, and Zazai immediately on the sweep. You could say he's already got his eye in from yesterday. He gets one to the man on the 45 behind square. In fact, they come back for the second. So off the mark straight away with 2.
Jingle up the batsman.
And he's forward in defence this time. Not a shot that he was looking to play too often yesterday, I don't think. Pushing it back up the pitch and there is no run. I wonder whether he can get his strike rate in this form of the game up beyond 200. Currently stands at 194. He did at the start of this game at least.
He's not making any great effort to it.
Be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, he's just bumbling along at 100 at the moment. 2 off 2 balls. Third ball is being bowled now. It's on leg stump. Goes for the big old wahoo over the leg side, but doesn't make contact. Thuds into his pad and drops in front of him. And there is no run.
Yeah, interesting, this change from Ireland. As you say, I like your point about getting back on the horse. You know, in a dead rubber, you can experiment, and let's see how we go again. Bowling first, but this time opening with tweak and maybe spearing these into Zazai's pads.
And Zazai just plays this one from the crease, wristily up towards wide mid-on, and he takes another single, moves the score onto 3, and his own score onto 3.
We haven't seen much actual turn from any of the finger spinners. I don't think Rashid, of course, with his wristy stuff, has moved it both ways and proved too hot to handle for the Irish batsman. And Simi isn't known as a big turner of the ball, but little variations will just maybe unsettle these top order players who went from the off against the seamers, certainly.
Yeah, Boyd Rankin's taken a couple of wickets in this series, isn't he? But he's gone for, I've got his stats here somewhere. He's gone for 74 from his 8 overs, taken 3 wickets, but a little bit of tap there. This is played off the back foot by Usman Ghani, up to long on, and he's off the mark straight away. 4 without loss, 1 ball left in the first over.
Let's jingle up the other batsman.
Usman Ghani, handsome like a Carney. Usman Ghani opens the batting like a monstrosity.
And this one is attempted lift over the leg side. Doesn't quite get all of it, Zazai. And it just winds up at deep mid-wicket where it's fielded. Another run to the total and a relatively quiet start compared to yesterday. Just 5 without loss.
And hello to you tweeters. Arthur Shire was first off the mark from Lisburn.
Hey up.
And he's got his Sunday roast just ready just in time.
With Yorkshire puddings, no doubt.
Well, M. Jenkinson says, hopefully only the match is a dead rubber. Comparing it to his Sunday lunch, he says, I hope only the roast is a brutal devouring of Irish produce.
What?
He said, only
there's so much to unpick in that short message.
Yeah. And Arthur Shaw also says, it takes some cojones to be shellacked for the highest score in T20 history, and then less than 24 hours later, come back to the same venue and elect to bowl first.
Yep, we double down.
Evil Scudus, the fellas are talking about who are the true world champions in one-day cricket, as in, you know, who takes the belt off, and it's currently Scotland. And they're not even going to be able to defend it in official circumstances. Pirate Badshaw once more into the breach. Comrades, he's in Dublin. Hello, Pirate. Jane with a Y making coffee with Inda Oz on the TV and us in her ears.
But didn't Scotland lose to Oman?
Not on an ODI. Oh, they did, yeah.
Yeah, it's Oman.
Ladies and gentlemen, your What's that form of the World Championship called?
The belt. The belt system.
The belt, yes. Yeah. Your World Championship belt holders. Oman!
Well, maybe not, because Scotland may have lost between them beating England, presumably, and playing Oman, so we need to double check on that.
Yeah, well, that's up to you, tweeters. Please get back to us on that.
We've got a bunch of people following us on Crick Tracker.
Hello.
Sheikh Rashid, Rao Kamran Thakur, Najibullah Nabizada says hello, nice to see you guys again. Chaman Uda says hi. Irfan Amin, Aruna Wickramasekara, Azim Khan, and a few others. Poled Khan, Afghan, Purnan Chanda Konderi, Bikram Mandai, and Rashid Khan again says hello. And Nakul Panda is watching from the green room.
And Jane with a Y wonders, we'll check into Australia, India certainly when this game is over. Australia have won the toss and they've elected the field. Pirate Badshaw loves the Simi Sing jingle also. So do I.
Well, he may have two spells when we get another chance to hear it.
So I don't know what the hold-up is here. Do you know, Grovey?
No, but
no.
Let's find the jingle.
I think we know who's going to bowl, don't we?
The big man. It's this chap.
Then the news say we talk ranking, uptown talk ranking.
You know, he did that tune, don't you, originally, Fred?
Althea and Donna.
Correct.
Well, I think it was a cover actually, but
and you know who did
they
the
were the ones
Simi?
who had the number one with it in England.
You know who did the Simi jingle?
No.
That's Old Dirty Bastard. Not to be
very nice.
confused. Not to be confused with the gig that Grubby and I went to when we last saw each other, which was my friends.
Young Dirty Bastard.
No, it was the Old Dirty Bastards.
Ah, right.
Which
Yes,
is,
I saw you tweeting.
That was good fun.
And a cracking gig it was too. I've got a couple of bits of illegal footage of them. One of them doing the Spice Girls Wannabe, one of them doing Franz Ferdinand Take Me Out, and one of them doing I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston, all in their, what was it, like a 10-piece brass band?
That's
right,
like that? Yeah.
With our friend Billy, well, I liked your friend really, but he's certainly my friend after he brought us that ice that evening to compliment the tremendous rum punch that you'd made, Rog. And apparently Nestle Boy has given us a bit of a re-up of the drinks cabinet, so somewhere next door.
Man, Nestle's.
I feel that we should give him, we should shower him with gifts, I feel, Nestle Boy, because he's always very generous to us, and I think a little bit should go back the other way. He's one of life's
Just
givers.
a little bit.
One of life's givers. Yeah, I mean, let's not go silly.
Give him a quid, yeah.
And there certainly is a delay over there in the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium.
Are all the games being played? All the ODIs, all the T20s and the Test match are all being played in the same stadium. So
that's right.
By the time they get to the Test, they should be pretty used to the conditions one would expect.
Were the two strips that they played on so far? Well, firstly, was it two different strips? Because the first game was 130 odd plays, 130 odd. The second game was obviously that freakish 278 for 3 that Afghanistan put on yesterday. I just wonder whether there were two quite dissimilar strips adjacent.
There's a bit of light coming through the black sight screen.
This would have Dickie Bird hopping mad, wouldn't it? Okay.
Yeah, we're
the
on
same strip as yesterday, according to Nakul. Just a reminder that the GPL is open, our prediction game. It closes at 3:45 p.m. GMT, which is 3:45. No, that sounds unlikely. 1:45, which is in about 36 minutes' time. If you've never played it before, you need to go to our website, click on competitions, register if you haven't already, and guess how many runs will be scored in total in the day. That is for both sides, and if you get it bang on, then you will win the pot. It costs £1 for each guess that you make. You can make one guess or as many as you like. The pot currently stands at £30. If you win it and you're the only person to have guessed right, you will get that whole pot.
Action resumes, and it's a shorter ball, a bit leg-sided there from Big Boyd, and Zazai just swats it down to long leg and picks up a very comfortable single. When you said bang on just then, Fred, it reminded me very much of Leslie Phillips. Bang on.
Ding dong.
One for the younger listeners there.
Hasibullah Osmani, who will win this?
I'm going to say Afghanistan, Hasibullah.
Satnam
Putting it out there.
Kumar is not a navigational device, it's somebody who's joined us. Aurangzeb Khan says, thank you very much for this match. Hello Bangladesh, says MS Rana. And Momin Pathan says, good that Zazai.
Usman Ghani whips one quite attractively off his hip, front foot in the air, fielded at backwards square leg near the boundary, and one more run a cruise. It's 7 without loss.
Just on this ODI title belt, it was ODI that Oman beat Scotland in, but then Scotland beat them back again. So Scotland do have it back.
So briefly,
I thought Oman won the lot.
No, there's a third one that Scotland. I think yesterday Scotland won by just 15 runs. What a thriller in the World Cup final that we'll never see.
They have to keep handing the belt back and forth. Zaza gets another ball on his legs and just clips it around the corner, trickles out behind square, and he gets another single.
Call him Zaza, like the Hungarian-American actress, one of the Gabor sisters. What's the other one called? Was it Eva?
Jar Jar and Eva, was it?
Yeah.
Was it... I always get these ones confused. Was it her who said... Was it she who said, I want to be alone?
No, that was Marlene Dietrich.
Okay, what did Jar Jar famously say?
Zaza was famous for marrying lots of people, as I recall.
Ghani gets a wide ball outside off stump and slashes at it, finds the fielder down there at third man and gets just one, and I fancy that Rankin got away with that one a little bit. Very short and very wide.
Yeah, no boundaries yet. 10 balls.
Yeah, that's a straw to be clutched at, certainly.
Well, boy, I was impressed by Rankin in the first game. He bowled quickly, and his figures escaped relatively well yesterday in comparison. So
he went for about, was it 49 he went for yesterday? There's a full ball which is driven by Zaza. I don't think there's going to be any need to run for that. That one smashes straight into the boundary at long off, all along the carpet. 4 runs.
In fact, yes, I've got 4. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was absolute carnage yesterday, wasn't it? Josh Little making his way in the game, figures of 1 for 49. Paul Sterling bowled a single over that went for 24. It was just limbs everywhere. Zaza has 9 off 8 and he gets a length ball. It's right in the slot. He swings through the line of this one, and here we go again. It's over wide, long on, and that is a maximum.
You came out of your hand and into my zone. Now it's up in the stands. It's a 6. It's beautiful and it's mine.
There were some very dodgy songs years back, weren't there? That was the original. Was your 16, you're beautiful and you're mine, wasn't it? And there was another one called Sweet 16. All about girls turning 16. It's not really the sort of thing that would be.
Get out of my dreams, get into my car.
Yeah, didn't specify an age at least.
No, that's true. Yes, well, things change. We have another change of bowling. So 3 overs, 3 different bowlers, and it's going to be this chap.
Be ready for the chase. Welcome to the chase.
Decent ball just outside off stump he starts with, and Usman plays it from the crease back to him.
Who was that? 50p? JZ?
50 pence piece.
A lot of hip hop in the Irish jingles.
Diana Patterson has told us that your mic is a bit quiet, Fred. I don't know if...
Oh, Diana Patterson, who outed herself as a fan of mine the other day, so she obviously wants to hear me as clearly as possible.
Whispering Fred Titmus. Usman faces up once more to Peter Chase. He's had a look with the first ball. He's not having a look this time, and he swats it straight over wide, long on. A couple of bounces, and it's 4 runs.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Yeah, it's a problem with length at his medium pace, essentially. It's no more than medium, and they've had a good look at Chase yesterday, and on a good pitch you can advance to it. You looked at the first one, like you say, and then in the power play you can just go over the infield.
That's right, and he is with the best ball in the world. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but he is a bit of a trundler. And once more, it's in the slot, and it's flicked, beautifully flicked. This time it's gone all the way over square leg, and it's a maximum. So 5 balls ago, Rod said, I haven't had a boundary yet. We've now gone 4-6.46.
This did bounce a couple of times.
Okay,
I thought it had gone all the way.
Yeah, the cameraman was confused. Sorry, that's only 4. I'm not going to play another jingle.
There's only 4. So 3 4s and a 6 in the last 5 deliveries has seen the score of Afghanistan race along to 27 without loss. We're halfway through the third over. Peter Chase metaphorically girding his loins now into the wicket, and it's a nice delivery, just slightly short of a length. Usman Ghani up on his toes, playing it into the leg side to the partially untenanted mid-wicket area. He's just single this time. It's 28 without loss.
It's games like yesterday that presumably make Tim Murtagh quite glad that he gave up the white ball game. He was never particularly well suited to it, because he tends to bowl in the same place at not a very great pace, but he's still a very, very wily and useful competitor with a red ball.
It's fantastic in that test match in Malahide last year that we were all lucky enough to be present at.
Oh no!
A little bit of handbags in the middle there. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. This is a swivel pull from the left-handed Zazai, and it races backward of square all along the deck for another 4. Yeah, the previous delivery where Usman Ghani had taken a single, and as he reached the non-striker's end, he gestured at
Balbirnie.
Was it Balbirnie who had come in? Thank you. As if to say, can you get out of my way, please? I'd like to complete my run.
Well, we don't really need meat and needle with a bunch of games still to come between these teams, do we?
I wouldn't mind. Zazai faces up again, goes for a massive wahoo, cleared the front leg that time. He was trying to hit that one straight back over the bowler's head and into the next town, but didn't connect. No run. It's the end of the over.
Interesting little story from Nestle Boy about the Boyd ranking jingle. Uptown Top ranking was initially recorded as a joke. The record was played by accident by DJ John Peel. Did you know that?
No.
Resulting in numerous requests for additional plays, and it going to number 1 in 1978. It was written by the two girls and Errol Thompson as producer.
I apologise for saying it was a cover.
And I think that it was one of those stories where they were just discovered on the street somewhere. They didn't sort of work their way into the record industry.
We don't know how old they were, so we can't say whether it was appropriate or not. But
no one was writing songs about how delighted they were that they turned 16. So we're okay with that.
That's true. But the music industry is the music industry.
3 overs have elapsed and 32 runs have accrued. We are having
a fourth.
What is our fourth bowling change? I believe it's the young fella who's played a handful of T20s for Ireland.
Little Joshua, he always brings us joy. Little Joshua, he's a quick little boy.
Left arm over, and it is whipped into the leg side by Usman Ghani. Nicely fielded by Simi Singh there, and keeps the runs down to a single.
Simi Singh is one of these players who you have to have say their first name. It's a bit like Sammy Lee of Liverpool and other people. They were never just called Lee or Singh. You've got to do the whole name.
Doesn't feel like there's enough of it if you just go with the surname.
No. Little Sammy Lee.
Yes. It was little Sammy Curran in the last Test match, wasn't it? I don't know if you were there for a bit of that, weren't you? You know, does anyone watch on Dave the Taskmaster show where Big Greg Davies refers to a man who's still over 6 foot tall, Alex Horn, as Little Alex Horn, and that was something that I'd like to apply to little Sammy Curran, which we did. Zazai has 19, and Little is into him, and this is outside the off stump, and he's able to free his arms and slash at it, and it goes a couple of bounces over third man, 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I know the wide Yorker has come into the game, but if you're bowling that angle round the wicket, left arm around the wicket to a left-hander, that's really just a free hit. Didn't cramp him for room, didn't do him for length or anything. Just able to swing the arms through it. 4 men saving 1 on the offside, and that's where he's bowling. However, he muscles this over long on. Again, a couple of bounces for Zazai, and it's into the fence for another 4.
4. Good God, yeah.
I've been through entire sessions of Test cricket without playing a single jingle.
Yeah.
Do you feel aggrieved having to do a bit of physical
evens
work
out,
there?
Evens out. That's the game, isn't it?
Evens out over a season, Fred, doesn't it?
Yeah. Some you win, some you lose.
He's brutal, isn't he, Zaza? I mean, he's a terrifying prospect to bowl at. He just he swung, and that was a
just bowl beamers at his head and get taken off.
He's tried to go even wider. If you could give 2 wides for anything, you'd give it for that. It didn't bounce either. Way wide of the off stump for one of these.
Wide. We've lost one of the wide jingles. Where's that gone?
But you know, he's so intimidating. You can tell what that little he's affected. Little doesn't know what to really bowl, and ultimately has sent out some filth, which has cost his side an extra delivery. Which, well, here it comes.
And here is the extra delivery. He's gone wide again and full again, and this time, as if to say, I can hit these similar deliveries anywhere I please. He's just lofted it over extra cover, 1 bounce, and it's 4 more. Just sort of assumed a bit of a sitting position there, Zaza, this time. So I think the 3 balls he's hit for 4, and then there was the wide as well, have been more or less the same delivery. Full and wide, deliberately wide. Obviously this is a bit of a plan, but it's not bloody working. The first one was slashed slightly edgily to 3rd man for 4. The second one was muscled back straight, sort of long on for 4, and that one extra cover. So he's just saying, doesn't matter where you bowl, I can hit it where I like. This one is wide again. Is it going to be given wide? We haven't closed up on the umpire just yet. Has he got away with that one? I think he has. Wow. He's bowled a dot ball, I think.
That's a little bit generous.
Mother Cricket smiling down on him there for a difficult over that he's going through. I thought that should have been given a wide. It looked just wide of that tram line to me, but the umpire does not give it. Now Zazai is striking at over 200 in this innings, which means he must have improved on his 194 career strike rate in 2020 cricket. So
it was 199.94.
Watch this space. Once again it's wide, once again it's full, and actually that one was okay, I believe. So finishes with 2 dot balls, good comeback, and it's 46 without loss after 4.
A couple of Pirate Badge says, I'm already getting an asterisk the goal versus the Romans vibe. And then he says that could be turned to an advantage by getting get a fix on.
Okay.
They did use a lot of bowlers yesterday, didn't they? Was it 7 or possibly 8?
I wonder if they'll go back to spin after that first over was relatively successful.
Was still in the power play, of course, another 2 overs.
Another tweet from Arthur. Sure, I may just be trying to mitigate the degree of the Irish defeat in this series, but he reckons Afghanistan are legitimate contenders for the World T20 next year.
Yeah,
certainly.
Can't argue with that.
Where's that being played?
I think it might be Oz. Miss Knuckle will be bounding in a second to confirm or deny. Adam, Kate Etchek, just imagine how busy not Fred will be on the jingle machine during your coverage of the first ECB 100 extravaganza.
I'm busy that day, sorry, I'm washing my hair.
You used to say that about T20s though, look at you now.
Well, I've been dragged in saying how short we were, and we're not quite as short as I was told.
So Usman Ghani has 13 from his 8 deliveries, and Zazai has 31 from 16, which means he scored 199 runs in the last 2 days, and he's not been out.
John Carr-esque. There's one for the purists.
Nothing pure about the way John Carr batted. He was a dreadfully ugly player.
Yeah, he was. He was sort of an inverse George Bailey.
So here we go.
More shenanigans with the side screens.
Who are your favourite ugliest but most effective batsmen?
No such thing.
Peter Willey.
Yep.
Ugliest but most effective, I suppose.
Aesthetically unpleasing.
Shiv Chanderpaul, I suppose.
Jack Russell.
Or Graham Smith.
Yeah.
Ugly but effective.
Oh yeah, he's top of that list really. George Bailey in recent times with that extraordinary.
I don't know quite how he does it actually. He's facing it completely the wrong way.
The thing is, he hasn't been that effective since he started doing it. He was better. He was nearly as good as Bradman, and then he.
It's like he's saying, here bowler, have a look at my arse for no apparent reason.
And I shall look coquettishly at you over my shoulder. When he first started doing it, I forget who they were playing, but whoever it was, the opposing team would just sort of
waiting for him to get
openly laughing at him, and then he went and scored. You know, he got a few that day. So it's obviously worked after a fashion, if only temporarily. He's not been in great form recently, though. You were saying, huh?
Well, he's not as scintillating as he was when he was going to break all the Aussies' hearts by having a really high average.
162 he got yesterday, was it? I've written that down wrong. I thought it was 168.
Go and get the stuff.
So no, well, I couldn't. I had to do it myself, and you see what happens.
And there was a hold-up yesterday, wasn't it? The sprinklers went off. Did you see that in the outfit? Yeah, they had to go.
Those cheeky sprinklers.
So what, they pulled 4 overs in 28 minutes.
Oh, Lucky Buzz is a very good LBW shout. Garney on the back foot, back in his crease, and he is given. Boyd Rankin strikes with the first ball of the 5th over, and some respite and relief there for the Ireland cricket team.
The trouble is, Rankin is so tall.
Yeah, it's hard.
You often think it's going to go over the top, but the umpire thought about it.
Yep.
Raised the finger.
Yeah, I mean, he was well back in his crease, certainly, and it did skid through a little from probably just a good length or just short of a length.
But he was on the jump. I think he had both feet off the ground, possibly when it hit him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've got a Hawkeye. I don't think they do.
No, there's certainly no DRS, but they have that, what they used to call it.
Should have played straight, shouldn't he, Roger?
Yep, precisely.
What, Skyline?
Skyline, that was
tracker.
The one. What was the very first one that they had?
Skyline's in.
Channel 4, yeah. That was with a break, we'll talk to Yoel, who says, any thoughts about T20 number 1,212,312 played now between Oz and India?
Can't wait.
Surely so many T20s in a World Cup year is a bit funny. Not as funny as us bringing you this one. One of the teams isn't even in the World Cup.
But it'd be like 400-metre runners doing 100-metre sprints in training, wouldn't it, to get ready for their actual event?
Well, not quite.
Rankin bowls a ball on leg stump, and it's just tucked into the leg side by new batsman Tarakai, and there is no run.
It's more like opera singers appearing in Mamma Mia.
That's pretty good. Akshay Tiwari has tweeted us a gif of Asterix juggling eggs, which is really amusing me. It's kind of spellbinding. Can you see that?
I better not look. Rankin bowls a ball just outside off stump, and this one is lifted by Tarakai. Again, one ball to get his eye in, and the next ball he thumps over long on, and it trickles into the boundary for another 4.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
And the batsman's jingle is
Najee Tarakai. He's gonna hit you. He's gonna hit you, hit you, hit you. Oh, Najee Tarakai. He's gonna whack you. Gonna whack you, whack you, whack you.
Oh, he did whack him there. And a lovely shot, actually. Lovely high elbow as he played through the line of that one, as you are clearly able to do on this pitch. Afghanistan's 50 is up as well. 50 for 1 in the 5th over. Ranking in again, and this one he absolutely smashes the arse off it. It goes over cow corner into the largely empty seats, and it's a big, big, biggie, one of these.
I believe in miracles. Since you came to bat, you sexy thing, you sexy thing, you. I believe in miracles. Since you came out to bat.
So they've got another brute in the top order. He's making his first appearance in this series. Hasn't played a T20 for nearly 2 years, but he's off to a bit of a flyer.
They've got some time. We were saying before next door, weren't we, that these two batting lineups are pretty fluid. Some of the orders that we've written down aren't necessarily the orders they'll be sticking to. Maybe it depends on the state of the game a little bit as well. This one should have been caught on the 45. It was a ball on Tarakai's hip, and he just turned with it, swiveled, and it went straight to, is that Peter Chase on the 45 there? Dived away to his right, got a big old palm on it, and it went to ground.
What's up to the drop jingles? Oh, here they are.
Way up in the sky, little darling, and if it falls, I'll pick it up. Just pick it up, mate.
So, well, it's my kind of innings. Tarakai, who's gone dot, 4, 6, drop, and he's 11 off 4 deliveries.
Yeah, a couple of drops yesterday cost Ireland. I mean, that wasn't easy, but you got a hand to it.
Hazratullah, not happy at not having the strike for a very short time, has gone for a big one, but he's been caught. He got under that one, and Paul Sterling, an excellent catch over his shoulder, falling away. He got under that one rather, and they will be utterly cock-a-hoop to see the back of Hazratullah Zazai after his heroics after the last 24 hours. I just think, I mean, you can't be starved of the strike, particularly in a 2020, but he hadn't faced a ball for about an over or so, and was getting itchy feet.
Skittish.
Yeah. But yeah, got under that one too much, and
it's a really good catch actually.
Yeah,
running back,
one of those really difficult ones. So it's a second wicket in the over for Boyd Rankin. So that one over went for 11 runs, but he also got 2 wickets
and a drop. You see, it all happens in T20 cricket, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's a good catcher, Sterling. Takes a lot in the slips, and
good hands.
Yeah, yeah. Arthur Sherwell, just in time, as we say cheerio to Zazai for now. He says before this weekend, Zazai had scored 185 runs in T20 internationals, so he doubled his tally in 24 hours. Just talking about whether they can compete in the World T20, Afghanistan, or even win the thing. Tim Part, who says, as with any sport at world level, clearly the group format is aimed at making it really bloody difficult for anyone to crash the top table party, but anyone who makes the knockout stages has a legitimate claim. And Pirate Badger says yes, because we've picked up some wickets.
Yes, the new batsman is going to be, he's changed his name, hasn't he, this chap? But it's he changed his name because he loves his phone. Forever he plays on races.
And it's down the leg side. The batsman had crossed, but we're in a new over, so it is the new batsman Ashgar to face, and it's yeah, down the leg side for a wide.
That's a terrific catch. Terrific catch by Sterling.
It's often said, but it doesn't make it any less true, that those are difficult catches to take. The ones that come over your head, you have to turn and watch the ball come over your shoulder. And he did it perfectly. He made it look pretty easy. This is an attempted Yahoo over cow corner, but Ashgar gets there, if anything, rather too early, and it's through across him to the keeper, and there is no run.
And as is well documented, Paul Sterling is not the sveltest of fellows, but he took off there, and I'm sure his teammates were delighted to see, try to capture him in full flight. There would be quite a scene.
He was airborne like a cannonball.
Yeah.
It's 58 for 2. We've had one ball.
Slowly like a cannonball, wasn't it? It's an Oasis lyric.
Yes.
Yeah, Champagne Supernova, I believe. And also, what's his face?
Damien Rice.
Damien Rice.
Yeah.
Cannonball, yeah. Exactly. So, Little coming round the wicket, and this is just takes him on the pad, I think. Half an LBW shout. Trickles out behind square on the offside, and they come through for what I think is a leg bye.
Yeah. Were you expecting a more full-throated LBW shot, Fred?
No, I was just surprised that it beat the bat, actually.
Right.
It was a quickish delivery.
Sliding.
It was on the angle.
Yeah. It was sort of Tom Curran out from the other day.
Oh yeah,
which I enjoyed.
We've been joined by some more people on Crick Tracker. Mumin Pathan, Umar Mushtaq, Ali Rehan, Anayat Mughal says hi. Nice commentary, says Adif Dawalatzai.
Well, you're very kind.
Dawalatzai rather, and Mahesh Suresh says hi. Bobby James says awesome. We are that.
Welcome to all you CTers out there, as I'm going to call you now. This is a full ball outside the stump, and an absolute beautiful shot by Najib Tarakai. Just leans on it, and he's clearly got a good eye, this lad. Goes through cover point for a boundary. As you rightly called there, Fred, an actual proper cricket stroke. Timed, footwork, along the deck.
Head over the ball. Sweet.
A few more details about Najib. He's 28 years old. Made his debut in this format in 2014.
Just defends this one to backward point. Thinks about a run, but it's not quite there.
This is his 10th T20I.
Aye.
Aye.
It is that.
Arthurshire, aye. Tell us about your Yorkshire puddings, Arthurshire.
Arthur's Irish. Not,
Yeah, he's in
Yorkshire.
Lisburn. But but we still.
But he confused me by talking about Yorkshire a lot and wearing a flat cap when he sent in that video at Christmas.
Right. I need 2 runs from 2 balls. It's not about me, though.
Little is into bowl. It's wide of the off stump. He won't get any runs off that. He attempts to guide it through extra cover, and there's no run. Najib Tarakai has moved on to 15 from his 7 deliveries. Not Fred Tipness needs 2 runs from this ball to win some sort of
It's
bet.
not about me. Just don't.
No.
Just
but
ignore it. Just ignore
that
it.
heightens the tension, though. So 1 run's no good to you.
No.
2 runs is good.
Yeah.
64.5 was obviously the bet. 63 for 2 at the moment. One more left in this 6 over.
Come on, Josh.
Josh bowls. Electable is driven. It's going towards the boundary. Straight drive.
No.
Coming through for 1. They're coming through for 2.
No, pick no.
And at the end of the 6th over.
Never in doubt.
No, there's only 1. They only got 1.
No, there was
1
2.
short,
It was
said
2.
the umpire. 1 short.
And in 10 minutes' time, listeners and CTers, the GPL guillotine will come down for another day. So if you haven't had a go at the GPL today, crack on and do so. Get to the website. Predict how many runs you think are going to be scored in this whole match. The 2 teams' totals put together. And if you get it spot on, you can win the pot, which stands at a princely sum of something like
£30.
£30 at the moment. There you go. That'll get you a Sunday night round in your local, or a nice takeaway for you and your partner. Now, 6 overs have gone. We're probably having a change maybe after this over in the com box here. But for now, it's 64 for 2. It's another power play, so something will be happening on the field. Ashgar has yet to score, having faced 2 deliveries. And Majid Tarakai, who looks a bit of a talent to me, has 16 from his 8. Now we have yet another change of bowling. It's going to be the right arm over trundling stylings of a man who shaved his head recently. And his first delivery is tucked into the leg side. And there is 1 run.
Stuart Thompson.
Oh, could be back in Malahide to listen to that. Just made me laugh the first time I heard it. Yep, shaven-headed, and he's wearing a bit of a beard. So you've got to be careful with the old sunstroke, haven't you, if you're going for that look.
Which England player of the 90s does he remind you of?
Ravi Bopara.
No.
Not of the 90s. He looks a bit like Ravi Bopara with those.
Was it
That
90s or
look.
the 80s?
This one is wider and a bit full, and Ashgar's not quite got his eye in just yet. Has another vain swish at this one, and it's through to the keeper.
I think you said it the other day.
Yes, I was asking Grubby if he can.
All right.
If he can
I'll stay
pick
stum.
it.
90s, certainly.
90s, yeah.
Does he look like or remind me of?
It looks like.
Only
believe
played.
he's now a coach.
I think he only played a couple of tests
Yeah.
in Zimbabwe.
And has a 10-fer in first-class cricket.
And it's another big old wahoo from Ashgar, who's certainly not found any sort of timing. He don't think he's laid anything on the ball as yet. Fresh air once more, and it's through to the keeper, and it remains 65 for 2.
Richard Johnson was the bloke we're thinking
Richard
of.
Johnson, I wouldn't have got that, I'm afraid. Somerset and Middlesex bowler. He did get a 10 for, didn't he?
10 for at Derby, I think. 10 for 65 off the top of my head.
Very good. Ashgar still waiting for his first run. He's faced 4 deliveries. Faces up to Thompson again. It's a length ball. It does at least lay a bat on this one. Pushes it out to the covers, but can't get off the mark still.
While we're in the Shires, Arthur tells us he's from Worcestershire. Well, sort of. So still a bit of mystery.
Oh,
I like
I'll
what
tell
you're
you
doing
what.
there, just teasing us. He says Nick Martin's your resident Yorkshireman, but he is fond of a flat cap. And
Yeah, well, that threw me. Well, my bad, I suppose, for buying into that stereotype. Slap on the
There we go.
wrist for me.
Whippets.
Well, if he's wearing it in Northern Ireland, you refer to it as a duncher. That's what he's wearing.
Duncher, never heard that before. 65 for 2. This is wider of the off stump and a bit shorter, and Ashgar swats it to that man at short extra again. And he remains on nothing at all after 6 deliveries. There's 1 ball left in this, the 7th over. We are already effecting the change. We're in 2020 mode here at Gorilla Towers as well. You're going to hear a new voice in just a moment. Well, one old new voice and one new voice. The old new voice is Nakul M. Pandey, who slipped into the jingle chair. Hello, Nakul.
Hello, it's changing by the edge of the boundary.
And I shall let you introduce our brand new guest. This is defended by Ashgar, but he does get off the mark this time into the covers. That's the end of the 7th over, and the score is 66 for 2.
Yeah, a more normal T20 start rather than the absolute carnage over the other day, where Ireland had a phenomenal start to their T20. They'd going at nearly 10 and over off the first T20, and still needed 15 of the first power play rather, and still needed 15 and over. Roger McCann's going to take over on ball by ball.
Yeah, that was a bit too frightening for me yesterday. I had to watch the rugby instead.
Quite.
Speaking of carnage, I was on the streets of Cardiff last night, and good grief.
And we welcome to the Guerrilla Cricket's inner sanctum for the first time. It's Mr. Ed Oliver. Welcome, Ed.
Thank you very much. Yeah, pleasure to be here.
So how did you get involved with this absurd operation?
I actually got involved through another one of your new commentators, Dan Gallen. We're actually
yes.
both doing a Masters at St Mary's Uni, so yeah, big shout out to St Mary's.
All the way from Twickenham, and all the way from the Guerrilla Cricket commentary box is this fella coming on to bowl.
I'll be a Georgie Porgy all night long. How was I to know what I was in for? I had it rocking and a rolling for a while. By George.
Had a less than brilliant second T20, dropped Hazratul Azazai a catch that definitely should have been taken, and a golden duck.
Yeah, he's going to start round the wicket to the right-handed skipper, who's yet to get his innings going. He'll drop one into the offside for a single to go to 2. Shy at the keeper's end. They thought about a buzzer, but the man came on off the boundary to stop that, as Afghanistan go to 67 for 2. And now that Ireland they've got rid of one danger man, certainly the beast of yesterday, but so they'll be, and having posted in the second innings 190 themselves, Ireland, they'll probably look to restrict Afghanistan to something under 200 and feel that they're in this game.
New look bowling attack for Afghanistan. Of course, Rashid Khan, who's been brilliant in this series so far, is still in the team.
Dockrell slow left arm, and there's no run for Tarakai, well fielded by cover. Kevin O'Brien there.
No Mujib, for example. No Freddie Ahmed, who's been pretty good in these two games.
Left arm from Dockrell. Again, they can't work a run. They're just looking to dab and go, but it was Josh Little at backward point. Very keen, walking in and scuttling in to prevent anything. As the Afghan bench look on pensively. We saw the chairman's in tonight. And here goes a big shot. He's tempted into an indiscretion. I think this has gone straight up in the air. And is safely pouched, running in off the boundary. Andy Balbirnie takes it well. Big smile on his face. A wicket for Dockrell. The end of Tarakai, 67 for 3.
And in the same ball, a wicket in Vizag. Rohit Sharma caught by Adam Zampa off Jason Berendorf for 5. India 14 for 1. That was a really good catch by Balbirnie.
Yeah, had to make a lot of ground, and slid in, timed it perfectly. Those are just as tricky.
Probably caught that in about the same place that Sterling caught the skyer of Hazratullah. That was a phenomenal catch.
He says he caught it on the circle, but he began on the boundary. Good athleticism. So Ed, tell us more about yourself. Tell the listeners. You play a lot of cricket. You obviously follow and keen.
Yeah, I still play club cricket back in Worcestershire.
Ah.
Want to give a shout to your club, mate?
Yeah, Bromyard CC crew, Yardy boys. Hello.
Good stuff. And you got tickets for Lords, the big test match this summer.
The Ireland game.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that is the proper big game. Yeah. I'll be very. Actually, 4-day test course, isn't it?
Yeah. Looking forward to that. I've got days 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm looking for some weekend tickets.
Not as preposterously priced as the other events at Lords this year. Of course, not as high profile. It's a lot of cricket to be played before that. What do you make of this Ireland team, Ed? Have you been following much of this series?
I'm just noticing the bowlers. They seem to be a bit down on pace. Boyd Rankin, I know he's going on a bit now, but Josh Little as well. He's sort of bowling around 130 Ks. I've seen him bowl definitely quite a lot quicker in that Under-19 World Cup. I remember a couple of years ago, he wasn't far off 90 mph, and just seems to be down on pace. But Peter Chase as well.
I wonder if there's a little bit of some of that's deliberate, just on a pitch that is this particular especially is really hard and true. I wonder if there's a little bit of taking the pace off, cutters, back of the hand slow balls. There was a couple of really good back of the hand slow balls actually yesterday, particularly from Josh Little, that got a few wickets towards the end of that Afghan innings. But yeah, it's you've got to be a little bit less predictable.
Well, experienced campaigner has joined his captain at the crease. These are the two main man now for Afghanistan. We'll jingle him in a second. He has to face his first ball. It's a new over from Stuart Thompson. No run into the offside.
The gods made Muhammad Nabi, and they saw that he was good. He came to play with bat and ball with a style like silk and wood. When losers say he shares house, well, you know that it's a lie. The gods made Muhammad Nabi, and he's never gonna die.
Thompson wide, probably too wide. Nabi couldn't reach it. He didn't move his feet, and certainly, yes, it's been called.
Muhammad Nabi was the star of the first and the somewhat normal T20 with bat and ball. He and Najibullah Zadran, after Afghanistan were 5 down for not very many, chasing 132, got Afghanistan home.
Thompson with a nice measured approach and good strong action, and a good ball length on off stump. Can't beat the cover field.
Ireland missed him yesterday with his ability to just hit a length, just be a little bit quicker than you think he's going to be. He's on to you a little bit.
Yeah,
nibbles it a little bit here and there.
Yeah, we saw that. It's a bit of a cliche. One of the wholehearted cricketers is a bit of
heavy ball is another one.
Stop. Yeah, he never stops charging in, and he's always on you. Whether they can find a measure of that remains to be seen. Back of a length is chopped, missed by backward point, but really good work by Chase down at third man, going to his right, and excellent fielding and good running too. They turned it into a couple.
I wonder if the outfield is just a little bit skiddy, a bit of dew, because we've seen a lot of sliding around and fielders not quite being able to sort of stop it cleanly on the boundary.
Yeah. Do either of you know this part of the world? Any visited?
Never been to Dehra Dun. Right. Never been up into the real northern part of India. Jaipur, but that's a little bit further west.
Mm.
I'd love to go and see a test match or any kind of cricket in Dharamsala, particularly. You're going to be familiarising yourself with this very ground.
Yeah, looking for. I'm going out for the test match. This one's full driven square. The sweeper will have to come around to his right. Simi Singh does it with alacrity and sends in a good return. Keeps them to 1. Really good fielding.
Test match of which you can hear every ball live and exclusive here on Guerrilla Cricket and on Facebook Live in partnership with our friends at Crick Tracker. We've got a few people with us on Crick Tracker. Adil Dawlat, Mahesh Suresh, Bobby Jain, Samir and Himmat, Jitendra Yadav, Mohammad Amjad Passoon, Mohammad Ismail Hashimi, Mohammad Iqbal Vijay Chauhan, and many, many more. Thank you all for your patronage. Facebook.com/Crick Tracker.
And if any of you are Dehra Dun based, meet up with me, I'd be delighted. This is too short and hacked through the onside. Asghar Afghan has his first boundary.
1, 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 2, 3, 4, up. 2, 3, 4, keep it up. 2, 3, 4.
Deliberate bounce, but Asghar had set himself. I was almost expecting it and flayed it. A couple of bounces through mid wicket.
Just camped on the back foot. He read the length there very early.
So how will Thompson respond? He's up now. Another bouncer, same dose, and Asghar has, well, he's increased his by 2.
Again, you could see him camping on the back foot very, very early. He could see what Thompson was trying to do. The Afghan chairman seems thoroughly unimpressed by everything. You saw him yesterday with an absolute poker face throughout the entire innings. Not a man easily impressed. Ed, do we have any tweets?
Yeah, Yoel, Asghar, I think he had 2 off 10 balls before that, 4 and a 6. Yoel says, Afghanistan are unsurprisingly very good at both T20s and ODIs, but I think their captain is much more suited to the longer format. Should bat at 5 or 6.
Yeah, he did demote himself when the slog was on yesterday.
Yeah, and he opened in the first game. So
yeah, Ghani wasn't in the 11 for the first T20. Tarakai can also open. He scored some runs opening against Ireland in Noida a couple of years ago. Scored an 80 odd opening with Mohammad Shahzad, who isn't in this squad.
Excellent stuff. Dockrell returns, and why wouldn't he? He's got figures of 1 for 1 from 1.1 because he fields off his own bowling. Nabi was driving back in his direction, and Dockrell, the senior spinner in the Ireland side, asked to do a job here for his skipper, and he's really on the spot again. Nabi can't beat the cover fielder with a drive. Handsome man, Dockrell, isn't he?
Yeah.
Dashing
Yeah.
fellow.
Tall, broad-shouldered.
A little bit of scruff, which is en vogue. Drop this a little bit short. Nabi goes back, just punches with a straight bat. A little skirmish between Dockrell and the non-striker, all very friendly. Just couldn't quite field it. And a single to long on.
Mohamed Nabi had to slightly extract his bat from somewhere in the crook of Dockrell's armpit there. It was all a bit of a tangle.
Oh, yeah, all very fairly done. But as we've said, these sides know each other so well. There's been a few flashpoints in their recent history. And I'm only interested in one thing, is getting a win today, and Dockrell's again on the spot. Asghar treats him with reverence, pushing back to him.
This came up a lot in Malahide, obviously, with Afghanistan only a few months then away from playing their first test match. You could sense the respect that these two have for each other.
Back of length on the hip, and just a gentle single into the onside.
There was a couple of flashpoints, wasn't there? Nabi with the Ed Joyce run out. I think photo evidence showing he was well over the line after the game.
Yeah, that's that a real stickler. I think that was in Ireland in Stormont, and he said that he'd kept the ball in a really key game. Didn't sit very well with the Irish. As who was that getting a single in the onside? The keeper did some good work fielding. It's the end of the over. 1 run accrued.
Yeah, good quick work by Stuart Pointer. Couldn't quite prevent the single with a good athleticism there. Ed, keep us up to date on those. Keep those tweets firing.
Just on the tweets, Arthur Shear says the TV description of Stuart Thomas's right arm fast did seem a tad generous.
Stuart Thompson.
Yeah, Stuart Thompson. He looks a little bit above medium, probably.
Yeah, medium fast.
Yeah, he's got a solid medium fast operator in handy. We were very impressed with him in Malahide with his ability to just get the odd one to lift, get a bit of nibble either way, and his batting too. Very, very impressive. Keep him going, Ed.
Arthur Shear also has I'm calling it the Mohamed Nabi jingle is my favourite guerrilla cricket jingle. And Omar, afternoon gents, possibly a day to retain some dignity perhaps.
Yeah, let's hope so. I think we always try to remain dignified as Irish. But yes, let's get a win. Oh, slammed over extra cover. Nabi got one in the slot from Peter Chase.
Yeah, Ireland's wicket or sort of his high economy, high strike rate man back into the attack.
Be ready for the chase. Welcome to the chase.
You can have Peter Chase knows his role in the side, and everyone else knows his role in the side. And this is all fine if you can sort of construct a team to allow for these foibles of the way he bowls.
Yeah, that might have been a slow bouncer, and Nabi was ahead of it. Just scruffy one into the onside, gets a single because that mid wicket is often untenanted. The 3 men go out once the power play's over.
Made Virat Kohli his bunny as much as you can do so in 2 games.
That's
when
right.
India were in Ireland last summer.
Yeah, definitely made a name for himself with, and that was some scraps of dignity in those 2 hammerings. If you can get the wicket of Kohli, you'll certainly make people's attention. He's in now again on a slow bouncer. Asghar waits and hammers it flat between the 2 men. I think it was just short of the rope, but it was right out of the meat.
Asghar is loving that area today. You can see how early he goes back in his crease. He's almost treading on his stumps there. Just goes back, sets himself, gets that power position, and then just using his wrists to work that away.
Yeah. What would you bowl to him? Ed, are you a bowler? You're a tall fella.
I'm a batsman. He's a bit of an old school. He's a bit like Chris Gale, isn't he? Takes quite a while to get his eye, and then he just sort of unleashes. I mean, he had 2 off 10. I think he's gone 6-4, 4-6.
Yeah, Asghar's a very canny operator. I think you've got to be a little bit fuller to maybe bowl some wide Yorkers.
Yeah, doesn't have the longest arms, and if he does hang outside that leg stump, Chase gives him another bouncer and he leaves it. So he's looking for the wide. No, don't be staring down the umpire.
But you see again,
Graham Ford looks away because I think he knows maybe Ireland got away with one.
But you see again, he's premeditated, going way back onto his stumps. He's setting himself for anything length, and it's just going to come on. Chase isn't the quickest.
Yeah.
He's not someone who can and he's not like Boyd Rankin who can bounce someone out. So I don't think that length delivery is going to work. And maybe the slower ball bouncer occasionally, but I think a little bit fuller, make him come onto the front foot.
Yeah, watch it. And we've tried that wide one, but he's got it horribly wrong.
Wide.
He's kind of lost his action there. You could see he was.
Yeah, it just all fell away to the left, didn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you go round the wicket and go sort of full in at the sort of the base of leg stump.
Yeah, I think all these sort of canny variations are things that Ireland bowlers need to learn if they're going to challenge the top T20 nations. Chase this time was a slow Yorker that went wrong. It was got on the full toss, and he had to do his own fielding. He'll be pretty relieved that it was just the one to Asghar. That was almost waist high. The square leg umpire might have been taking a good look at that too. But
yeah, there's a little bit of with Ireland, a lot of Ireland seamers of bowling sort of traditional lines and lengths. You saw that in the last World Cup on pitches that were completely unresponsive, and where Ireland were able to put up a pretty good fight with their experienced batting. Like Balbirnie had a couple of decent knocks in that tournament, but Chase and the rest were hit around all over the place.
He's going to complete a second over now, and it's another scrappy one. Scrappy keeping two, but they can't turn one wide into another.
Ireland have bowled pretty well here today, but they're just in danger of slightly the wheels coming off a little bit. Chase has bowled his back of a length and been smashed away by Asghar, and then he's just not quite sure what his plan B is.
Chase, can he complete it? No, it's on leg stump again, flicked around the corner. Deep square comes into the picture to reduce them to 1 run. And the end of Chase, he bowled 2 overs, none for 26. And I guess the game now is about how Sterling, who he uses for these next 9. Did the tweeters have any thoughts?
I haven't got much on the tweets, but just the Ireland attack is a little bit same, isn't it? A lot of right arm, sort of between 125, 130 Ks. Barry McCarthy's a lad with a bit more pace. I know he's in the Test and ODI squad. Any reason why he's not been given a go in the 2020s?
We spoke to him during the Test match about the very thing. I don't know why he's not trusted with the 2020, because he does play some of it for Durham.
Yeah, he's not even in the squad.
Yeah.
Andy McBride is in the squad, not used.
Left arm spin from Dockrell continuing, and good work from the extra cover. Kevin O'Brien, he's dirty with himself because he misfielded it, and the Afghans had no truck with the adage because they ran one.
Does Harry Tector bowl a bit?
I don't think so. I mean, you do have more options. You saw Simi Singh bowled the first over, just went for 5. He's got 3 up his sleeve.
KOB.
Yeah, and Sterling himself. Yeah, I mean, you could almost finish the innings with tweakers. You've got the left arm option of Josh Little, of course. Slow left arm this time and heaved around the corner. Asghar, but Ireland won't mind too much. 1 bounce out to Peter Chase.
I've been quite impressed with Josh Little. Obviously, the left arm angle gives him a little bit of an early advantage. These bits of novelty don't last long in these high analysis days, but he is someone who does have the back of the hand slower ball in particular. He can tuck players up. He can bowl that little bit skiddy. I think he bowls a bit across seam as well.
Oh, this is a handsome shot. Nabi skipped down the pitch, made some room, and has gone long.
Oh yes. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So well balanced. It comes down the track and just an easy free swing over long on.
Yeah, into a good pocket of Afghan fans there. They tend to increase their numbers as these games go on, and they could get a souvenir if they position themselves correctly.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be a number who've sort of blocked off these few weeks in Dehra Dun.
As long as there's room for me when I get there. I haven't got my ticket. Well, they haven't sold the test tickets yet. So Nabi goes back, pushes a single into the onside. It's 106 for 3 off 11.4.
I can't imagine you'll have too much trouble. Finding where they sell the tickets might be the biggest issue. Remember the World T20 a couple of years ago? They were selling the tickets for one stadium in Nagpur at the other stadium in Nagpur.
Yeah. Dockrell again. He's been well respected when he finds a good length, as Asghar just plays one up too long on for one.
Kabir Khan Safi says hello on facebook.com/Crick We've also been joined by Mahbub Ilahi, Prince Adil Mughal and Gopesh Kumar Jaiswal II.
Excellent. Some of these Afghan fans in headbands. I think I've got to get myself a headband when I'm out there. Start batting in one. Dot ball to finish the over. Respect from Nabi. He's on 18. His skipper's on 20. And with 8 overs to go, Afghanistan are nicely poised on 107 for 3.
Just got a couple of tweets. Pirate Badshah, I want more spin if anyone wants my view. Tech to bowls off spin, he says.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And Arthur Shear again, bit of a lack of outright quicks in Ireland in general, partially because medium fast bowlers who can swing it are absolutely devastating in Irish conditions.
Well, that's certainly true. That's that is.
Yeah.
You breed the country. You breed the cricketers from your own soil, kind of stuff.
And it's difficult to make it. It's a little bit like we talk about with this championship season not really being played in the height of summer. You're not likely to pick sort of out and out sort of fast bowlers who might spray it around a little bit, and you might not. And certainly spinners don't get much of a go in early season English conditions.
Darren Stevens, isn't he?
It's the Darren Stevens, the Jesse Ryders, those kind of guys. The mighty Rohit Bopara.
Could we create a tournament just for those kind of guys? I'd love to.
The Island T20.
Yeah, it played in April. In whites.
David Masters come out of retirement when he for that as well.
Yeah. Alan Richardson.
Darren Maddy.
You remember him at Worcester? Asghar facing up. It's a new over. And he's smashing one straight down the throat of long off. Stuart Thompson's delighted with himself. A big wicket. 107 for 4. First wicket of the first ball of the new bowler. Tell us who that bowler was.
Asghar Afghan, gone for 20 off 20, caught by Stuart Thompson off the bowling of.
Well, you're 27 years old, all you want to do is play cricket. Out on the field, you know everybody's going to it. Shane, get Kate. Shane, get Kate.
Grandson of a first-class cricketer in South Africa. Been quite impressed with Shane Getke, another one of these seam bowling all-rounders. Can hit a decent ball. Gave it a good go in utterly doomed circumstances the other day. A clean hitter, kind of in the Stuart Thompson mould a little bit, and that wicket of the skipper Asghar Afghan for a less than impressive 20 off 20 brings this man to the crease.
Oh, you can't bowl away to Najibullah. He'll eat it all up and then demand more. You can't bowl away to Najibullah. He'll just hit a 6 and fuck up all your shit.
Well, remains to be seen, but his first ball's on his legs. Gets off the mark with 1 into the onside.
Just got Pirate Badshah on the tweets. Get Kate, get a fix, get a wicket.
Boom. Get Kate, where Kate fly.
Yeah, I think he struck with his second ball in the first game. So a bit of a golden arm. Thompson it was a really routine T20 dismissal. I almost think it's like the caught behind of T20. You see it that often in the slot and just hit straight down the throat of long.
It's a classic indoor cricket dismissal.
Yeah, that's right.
Not caught off the roof.
Every indoor cricket league I've played in has a different regulation about what happens when it comes off the roof. Sometimes you've got to catch it one-handed.
Get a nice even approach, a nice high left arm thrust up into the air, and the right arm comes round, pulls a good Yorker, edged out to the third man for one.
And that's a classic indoor cricket shot, the run down into the third man corner.
That's quite right, yeah. One of these.
One off the wall.
Very annoying, isn't it? You play a cracking cover drive, you get one. The lads who are good who just angle it in the corner. 2 for the run as well, you get 3 just for a little nudge.
You play the circumstances, Ed.
I don't know, but is it cricket? I've been playing some this winter as well, and look, it is good. It's good fun just to, you know, turn your arm over and get loose, but it's not the game.
It's sort of cricket-themed exercise rather than cricket.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I like
it's you know, it's a bit of fun, a bit of social.
Yeah. Get Kit staying over the wicket to the left-handed Najib. He nudges one off his pads. The first one was actually a leg by. Has he got off the mark this time? No, another legger.
The umpire nearly fell over there. I think his standing foot went from under him a little bit.
Scott Arthurshire on the tweets again. He says there are some spinners who were playing in the NWU when I was involved up there who were there or thereabouts.
Well, we were talking to George Dockrell in Malahide, and we were kind of asking about the next generation. He mentioned David Delaney as a properly quick bowler who might have some who's one to watch for the future.
Get Kit, impressive so far. This one's outside of stump, full, driven up to long off. That's like single to Nabby. He goes to 20, and it's Nelson for 4.
Throwing ahead to the Test matches, Barry McCarthy is in the Test squad. Not express pace, but probably a bit quicker than the likes of Sam Murtagh. And James Cameron Dow, who's been ripping it up for the Ireland Wolves, is in the squad. The off spinner who can bat a bit.
Yeah, he's a slow left armer.
Is he slow left armer? Sorry.
And he does turn it a bit more maybe than Dockrell even. And yeah, got a good hauls against Sri Lanka. Oh, this is worth a shot.
Outside leg.
Maybe yes, hit him in front of leg. And quick thinking, Get Kit was going to appeal, and then he remembered it'd be more important to restrict them to a dot, and there was no serious request of the umpire. End of the over. How are we doing over there?
Abhishek Chopra on the tweets. Good evening from Bombay, gentlemen.
Evening.
Hello, Abhishek. I'll be flying back through Bombay, but I don't have a very lot. I've only got about an hour and a half layover, so
that's a sprint through the airport, pretty much.
Yeah, well, but do come up north of Delhi. Come up and see me. Anyone out there, do feel free to get in touch at Raj Pineapple.
Yeah, a quick domestic flight from Bombay or from Delhi.
Yeah.
Like 45-minute flight from Delhi.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm doing one of those sort of short changeovers when I'm going to be in India, sort of from the sort of end of March onwards. I'm going to be in Amritsar for part of it. It's a really annoying 5-hour layover in Delhi starting at midnight.
Crumbs. Might be some cricket on somewhere in the world, I'm sure. Very good fielding, Kevin O'Brien. He'll be delighted with that because he restricts Nabby to a dot ball. It's Dockrell's going to bowl his 4 all the way through. He has 1 for 13 off 3.
It's been pretty good today. He's controlled his length really well.
This one's on the legs of Nabby. He gets a single square of the wicket.
I think he's about a little bit slower than he did the other day as well. He's just holding it back a little bit, making the Afghan players just put the impetus into the ball, just dipping on the batters a little bit. We saw with the catch that was taken by Balbirnie. He got the one. He didn't even get it particularly wrong. The one that Nubby hit him back over his head. That was just a really good shot.
Yeah. It's confirmation that Get Kit one just pitch outside leg, not a lot, about a ball's width.
Shot.
And there's the first reverse sweep we've seen. Najibullah gets off the mark. Clever shot.
My name is Lakhan. My name is Lakhan.
Big wicket in India. Virat Kohli gone, caught by Nathan Coulter-Nile off the bowling of Adam Zampa. 24 off 17, so not particularly quick. India 69 for 2 in the 9th.
Any chance that any Indians turn that one off and start watching this?
Yeah, if you are a Kohli fanatic and you don't want to watch your team, and now that the skipper is gone, come over to facebook.com/Crit Tracker and our live and exclusive audio ball by ball coverage of Afghanistan v Ireland.
6.5 to go, and Najibullah's getting out the big cleaver. He goes over wide, long on, into the first row. Afghan chairman folds his arms. Very expensive looking watch. Did you get a glimpse of that?
Does hit a long ball, doesn't he, Najibullah? Remember in the World Cup, he hit a couple on the roof, I think, down in New Zealand.
It's power all the way down this Afghan lineup, and they don't even have Mohammad Shahzad, who might be the most powerful of the lot.
It's true. He's a nice compact stance, Najibullah. Not the tallest, but he's certainly well built.
Yeah, the forearms.
And he's just pushing a full toss up to long off for one.
You've still got Rashid Khan to come in, who can hit the ball, who can hit it all over the place. Probably one of the best individual T20 performances of all time in the IPL semi-final last year. 3 for and 30 odd in no time.
Docker's last ball is short. Nabi looks to heave it away. I think it comes off the thigh pad. He'll get a run to the total. 124 for 4 from 14. This is a big partnership that Ireland would love to break.
Just a couple of tweets. So we've got Arthur's here again. Do we think these are old-fashioned home boundaries which will move a metre back if the home team are defending a lowish total?
The conspiracy theories. We are going to have a bit of a change here in the Guerrilla Cricket box. Ed's going to stay where he is. I'm going to move to ball by ball, and Paul Grubby Howarth is going to come back in. In the meantime, we will tell you how you can support the show, because we're bringing you a hell of a lot of cricket, and we want to bring you a hell of a lot more.
We need your alternative cricket commentary. Bringing you laughs, bringing you jingles, bringing you joy. We are Gorillas. We need your Patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket.
Wide as Shane Getcake came in there, and just after the changeover, well wide of off stump, and the attempted flay from Mohammad Nabi meets only fresh air, so a bit of a false start. But Shane Getcake, even with that wide, 1 for 3 off 1 over's worth of legitimate deliveries. He's in now. Right time over to Mohammad Nabi, who walks across to off stump and meets this helicopter style, brings those wrists and forearms down on a helicopter, smashes this hard and flat over extra cover for one of these.
6.
Beautiful shot from Mohammad Nabi, walking across to off stump, couple of steps down the track, and just muscled it into the gap and over the gap. You are listening to Guerrilla Cricket's live and exclusive audio ball-by-ball coverage of Afghanistan's series against Ireland in Dehra Dun. We're bringing you every ball of the T20s and the Test match. Sadly, we are unable to do the ODIs, but we're loving bringing you the T20s. That's a full toss from Getcake, a slightly ludicrous LBW appeal to a ball that was pretty obviously sliding down leg. Mohammad Nabi had a swipe at it, again walking across to the offside. It thuds off a combination of inside edge and pad flap, perhaps, and they come through for a single. I thought that was a leg by. I'm not sure there was any bat on that at all, but no signal from the umpire.
If there were not any bat, that was not the stupidest LBW appeal I've ever heard.
No, high on the pad flap. That voice is Paul Grubby Howarth, and Ed Oliver is with me as well. I'm Knuckle M Pandey, at Knuckle M Pandey on Twitter. Yeah, high on the pad flap. He's down the track. Maybe it's a tough one to give when there's no DRS to get you out of a hole if you get it wrong. The left-handed Najibullah on strike and drops this into the offside. Nicely taken single. These two put up a very good partnership in the first of these T20s to get Afghanistan over the line. We go again to the stony-faced Afghanistan Cricket Board chairman. There's a smile.
Cracked his smile, just as you said.
But his smile is remote operated.
by you. Maybe he's got you in his ear.
As inevitably being photo-bombed. It seems to be a stone-face competition up in the... he's not in the posh seats, is he? He's in the stands. Getcake in, and Mohammad Nabi climbs into this one. It was a late delivery. Nabi down on one leg, up into the second, third tier, up above the pavilion. Huge from Mohammad Nabi.
Having been struck by the bats, the ball pitches beyond the boundary. It's a 6.
Length delivery, and Mohammad Nabi's eyes lit up just a couple of steps across to the offside, down on bended knee, and that's thudded into the concrete. What a hit. That might be bigger than anything Zazai hit the other day.
It's a shame we don't have one of those distance things. Chris Gale hit 120, I think that was over 100 metres, that one.
Oh, easily. That's 6 anywhere in the world, and these boundaries are not hugely tall. Nubby nearly goes off into trouble off the next ball. It was full and wide outside off stump. A good wide Yorker from Get-K. Nubby jabbed the bat down at it, and it just dribbled off the toe end, and for a second looked as though it was going to roll into the stump. It just stopped up short just in front of middle stump.
Did you say Chris Gale hit 120-metre 6 the other day?
He hit a couple.
Yeah.
There's one that Shy the Freely hit at the Wanderers, which was tracked at 150 metres.
Oh, the old thin air.
Yeah. That's a full toss from Get-Kate, and Nubby walking across to the offside as is his wont, just whips this away Gordon Greenwich style between a short fine leg and backward square for 4. I wonder if they're raiding upstairs to see if that was a no ball on height. It was very close to waist height, but no, I think they've decided that it is just the 4, and Get-Kate's punishment for the over is done. 19 off the over. Afghanistan looking to build another formidable total. Ed?
Yeah, a couple of tweets. Jane with a Y. Zamps got the V-Rat. Vegan Venom gets the git.
Yes, quite indeed. And another wicket in India. Rishabh Pant run out for 3. India 80 for 3 after 10.
Also, Abhishek Chopra, Rog, he's just left commentary. But Rog, where are you going to be in North India, and for how long?
Well, Rog is going to be out there for the test match between these two in Dehra Dun. That's the 15th to the 19th of March. Or we'll see if we can get Roger's travel itinerary. But we've said goodbye to Rog for today. Thank you for his work, and we'll see him again anon. He may be back for some part of the England-West Indies ODIs. That remains to be seen. A large fella is back into the attack, and a good direct hit from mid-wicket. Back of a length, Najib Zadran whacked it straight to mid-wicket. They went for the single, and the direct hit was might well have caught Afghanistan's number 6 short. They're going upstairs. Rankin is absolutely convinced that this is out. They're going upstairs. I think decision pending, but I think Najibullah Zadran might be short. We're seeing the throw came in from George Dockrell, and he's gone by a long way. Barely in the frame, barely clearing Boyd Rankin. Dockrell knew, Rankin knew, I'm fairly sure the umpire knew, but was just checking he was in a good position. There wasn't a stretch, there wasn't a dive, and Najibullah Zadran has run himself out. Georgie Dockrell with the direct hit. Afghanistan lose their 5th. 143 for 5. Najibullah Zadran run out for 12. Brilliant work from Dockrell.
Yeah, he's out by a distance, isn't he, as you say?
Yeah, one stump to aim at, hit the base of the stumps. That was a pretty ridiculous piece of running, I think, from Afghanistan. He hit it hard, straight to the man. It wasn't one of those that he drops short.
And picked out the left-handed Dockrell. I wonder whether subconsciously even he thought, oh, I'm safe there. It's gone to the weaker side. Yeah,
those are the kind of details that people do pick up on at this level of cricket, but when Afghanistan 143 for 5 in the 16th over, there's some power still to come. Rashid Khan, as we talked about, can wield a mighty willow, as can this man, the holder of the fastest ever first-class double 100, but he won't be on strike because they did cross. Mohammad Nabi again, back of a length, skies this short delivery. Simi Singh was nowhere near it at deep backward square. Has to settle for giving away the 2. Mohammad Nabi into the 40s.
And here's your new batsman.
On and on he seems to go. You don't know what you got till he's gone. But the double turn, the shabby goal, the shabak.
Back of a length, Nabi staying leg side this time. A little good variation from the hugely experienced Mohammad Nabi. Back of a length and flayed over the covers. 1 bounce 4.
1, 2, 3,
Pretty filthy delivery from Boyd Rankin, in truth. It was just a little bit too wide, a little bit too short, and Mohammad Nabi said, thank you very much. It's sitting up every time it's just short, kind of on that length. Mohammad Nabi to 45 off 27, and a bit of a conference between Sterling and Rankin, who the camera operator is doing very well to fit into the same shot.
Do you ever see that? It was back in the 80s, wasn't it? Alvin Khalid with Joel Garner.
I remember when Peter Stringer was scrum half for Ireland. They always, for some reason, stand him in the team lineup between Paul O'Connell and Malcolm O'Kelly. Absolutely ridiculous. 6'7", 5'6", 6'7".
Yeah. Or
Donica O'Callaghan,
James Taylor, and Kevin Peterson.
Yes.
When they batted together, I was fortunate enough to be there, and Taylor played very well for 30 odd, and then was summarily dropped to test 2 later.
Shawnee Wright Phillips and Peter Crouch.
Be hilariously named.
In comes Big Boyd, right arm over the wicket, back of a length. Nubby's tried to flat back this down the track. Has it come off the toe end? It has come off the toe end, but the toe end was enough for 6 and enough for 50 for Mohammed Nubby. 51 off 28. This Afghan batting lineup just do not stop.
Straight pull, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
50 states, 50 lines, 50 crying all the times, 50 boys, 50 lies, 50 I'm gonna change my mind.
Boyd Rankin becoming a little bit predictable with that just slightly back of a length delivery. Nubby has set himself really well for that one, and as you say, straight pull, the strapple as we've christened it here on Guerrilla Cricket, back over the bowler's head. 51 off 28 for Mohammed Nubby. Penultimate ball of the over, fuller from Rankin, and Nubby just clears himself out of the way and swings through the line of this one. Mohammed Nubby is murdering Boyd Rankin in this over, back-to-back sixes.
Smack it in the air, smack it in the air, legs moving side to side, smack it in the air, smack it in the air.
Smacks him.
I wonder if Nubby knew that Rankin was going to go a little bit fuller there, deep in the crease, backing away to leg. Whipped the hands through the line of the ball, and away it sailed for a smacksum.
Flattish, wasn't it? So just about give that a smacksum.
Yep.
Another Guerrilla Cricket coinage there, a flat, hard 6. And that one was drilled.
This over wicket 2, 4, 6, 6. Can Rankin get out of it? A good bouncer, which passes over the shoulder of Mohammed Nubby. So wicket 2, 4, 6, 6, dot. All happening Afghanistan. 161 for 5 after 16.
Just on the tweets, Abhishek Chopra, that of really 6 off Sobbe was mightily huge. And Arthur's here, you can improvise your own 6 tracker like the TV used by making up any number and saying that's how far the 6 went.
And hello again to all our CTers out there, the Cricket Tracker watchers. Hello everyone, says Najibullah Nabizada. Great to see you guys again. Great to have you with us, Najibullah. Muhabbat Afghan says nice right back at you. And Panda Galotti says no about something.
No, it's not nice.
We have Nazir Safi, Kabakan Safi, and Mehboob Ilahi. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody. Please share the link and tell your friends. We are the only place that you can get ball-by-ball audio coverage of Afghanistan versus Ireland, and we're doing so in partnership with our friends at Cricket Tracker.
Abhishek Chopra again on the tweets. There's been a strapple. Someone send a telegram to Bear.
Hey, I don't think it's a Bear coinage, but it's certainly a Guerrilla Cricket coinage. We are the Shakespeares of cricket broadcasting. Shane Getcate out of the attack, and into the attack comes this left-armed fellow who's been pretty impressive in this series thus far, even if his figures have, like all of the Irish bowlers, taken some tap. He's in round the wicket, an extraordinary shot from Shafiqullah. First ball does the splits and somehow manages to lever a wide Yorker outside off stump over his shoulder, over very fine leg for 4.
It's Nissan She. It's Nissan She.
And belatedly, this is the bowler's jingle.
I am Joshua Little.
Amazing improvisation from Shafiqullah. I don't think he was expecting it to be that wide. And I remember A.B. de Villiers playing a shot like that, where he ended up rolling over and watching the ball sail over fine leg for 6. But Shafiqullah not quite in that mould, but certainly a player of improvisation as well as power, and then just reaches out with bended front knee and plays a delightful cover drive out to Simi Singh on the cover boundary for a single.
It was Rowan Cannoy, wasn't it? He used to play a sweep and fall over.
A lot of people do that. Brendan McCullum, I remember doing it off, I think it was Sean Tate. It was one that was sort of a link delivery, and McCullum sort of launched himself at it outside off stump, whipped it over, and with the force of, you know how Brendan McCullum with those incredible forearms, sort of like a lumberjack chopping down a tree, sort of whipped the ball through, and with his own momentum ended up rolling over and watching it from all sorts of sort of between his own legs as the ball went over fine leg for 6.
Well, that shot of Shafiqullah's, I think deserves to have the shot trademarked and named after him, a la Dill Scoop. You know, the Shafiqullah split or something. It was extraordinary.
incredible flexibility. Just as much as anything.
He's wincing on the inside.
Just watching that made my groin hurt. Change of the field as Mohammed Nabi is on strike. Backward square leg is brought up and then sent back by Josh Little. We got short fine leg. We don't know. Square leg is coming up into the circle. We've got short fine leg, backward square, third man, and I think probably backward point up in the circle as well. Nubby goes deep in his crease and walks across outside off stump. He's got under this. I'm not sure where on earth that has gone. The camera operator's given up on it. I think that's gone for 6 as well.
Big air under that one.
Oh yeah, hang time.
Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6. Let's talk about 6.
My colleague to my right gave that out immediately because it seemed to have just gone straight up in the air.
It's that angle where you go, oh, that's either... No, I was pointing upwards, I wasn't giving it out. It's one of those where it either sails over for 6 miles over the boundary or it ends up in a fielder's hands somewhere towards the boundary, but that was certainly the former. It went an absolute mile, it turns out, not least up.
Yeah, it landed just at the base of the changing rooms. Afghanistan 172 for 5. Mohammed Nabi 63 off 31. What can Josh Little respond with? He responds with a very good delivery. I think Mohammed Nabi has just managed to get some bat on this. It was a Yorker on off stump. It was given out LBW by my colleague to my right. Josh Little was appealing, but 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Yorker on off stump, and Nubby's done really well to whip his hands across this and get it fine of the man at short fine leg. Josh Little can count himself very, very unlucky, because if that had not taken the sort of bottom edge, that was absolutely stone dead.
Well, did it? Did it take the edge?
I can't see how it would have got to the boundary with that much pace if it had hit his foot.
Well, it looked like it just clattered into his foot, but anyway, been given runs.
Yeah, we got no DRS, so there's no recourse. The Irish fielders don't seem too bothered. That might be 6 as well. Another attempted Yorker from Josh Little, but Nubby deep in his crease means that he slightly misses the length. Nubby's got under this one, and that well and truly is 6 over long off.
You came out of your hand and into my zone. Now it's up in the stands. It's a 6. It's beautiful and it's mine.
Cleared long off by some way. One bounce into the dugout. Mohammed Nabi 73 off 33. Josh Little, last ball of his over, the 17th of the innings, is another attempted Yorker. This time misses in the other direction, and it's a full toss, and that is smoked by Mohammed Nabi. Mid wicket was in place, only about 5 yards from where that crossed the boundary, but had absolutely no chance. 4-1, 6-4, 6-4. Afghanistan 186 for 5. What a cricketer Mohammed Nabi is.
Gee willikers, I tell you what, these boys can half smack it. I know this is possibly a road of a pitch, but this takes some doing. Just stand there in your crease and swing through the line of the ball and just take it. The bowler knows that the batsman's going to try and hit for 6, and they're largely powerless to do anything about it.
Such a small margin of error, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably a few inches off being a perfect Yorker. Little did bowl the perfect Yorker, and somehow Nubby manages to flick it away for 4. If you go length, he'll stand back in your crease and smash you over deep square leg. There is nowhere to hide for these Irish bowlers. They're lacking in variations, lacking in extreme pace. The spinners have bowled quite well today, particularly George Dockrell, but Peter Chase, who's back into the attack, and Josh Little are feeling the heat. So this is a slower ball tossed up, and Shafiqullah drives this all along the ground to the tuber-gripped figure of Kevin O'Brien down at long off. Any tweets, Ed?
Yeah, Dan Joslin checking in, always there for the Ireland coverage. It's raining here in Virginia, though it may just be the 6s that were launched from Dehra Dun. I'll have to go check.
Yeah, everybody within a 5,000 mile radius, just to make sure that there's no cricket balls loitering in your back garden.
Dan Joslin also says the Joshua Little jingle is the new Mark Wood jingle that I laugh at. It's an extremely silly joke every single time.
Chase in, another slower ball. Nubby waits for this, and that one's got draw on it. That was a golf shot that Mohammed Nubby played. Just faded away over, fade rather than draw, of course. Faded away over the umpire's head, hard and flat for 4.
The number of the day. Who could ask for more? The number of the day is 4.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It was a back of the hand slower ball.
I thought he bowled a really good delivery there, and actually possibly did him a bit in the flight, as it were, because it was a slower ball, as you say. But he's just waited for it, and again, fantastic eye, fantastic hands and wrists, and 81 from 35.
I know, right?
Wow. I keep thinking back to, you mentioned AB de Villiers as well, that 100, and I think it might have been that 100 from 31 deliveries.
In the World Cup. Oh no,
no, it wasn't in the World Cup. They were wearing the pink, I think, that day, weren't
against
they?
the West Indies, yeah. As Chase has come round the wicket, bowling from quite wide of the crease. Nubby's got right under this one. It was another attempted Yorker. The camera operator's lost it. This might be settling in a fielder's hands. Very good catch. Very, very good indeed from Andy Balbirnie down there at steep square leg. Mohammed Nubby can't believe that this hasn't gone for 6. Kevin O'Brien is signalling out. Graham Ford isn't quite sure, but I'm pretty sure that Balbirnie's taken an absolute beauty down there. It went an absolute mile. That's taken a low-flying aircraft with it. Come down, 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 and Balbirnie had an age to wait for it down near the rope. He just had to make sure that he didn't make contact with the boundary rope. Nubby knew immediately that he hadn't quite got all of it. Having a close look at the feet, yeah, I think that's very, very well judged by the fielder. And Mohammed Nubby's blitzkrieg is at an end. He's gone. Afghanistan 191 for 6.
Sensational hitting though. 81 from 30 odd deliveries. But I was just talking about AB de Villiers. I can't see it being beaten. I'm sure it will be one day, but 31 deliveries for 100, where he was playing those shots, some of which you were mentioning earlier, Knuckle. Some that were sort of a front foot sweep off the fast bowlers, and then sometimes rocking over and hitting them over his own shoulder.
Jason Holder was going under a run of ball well under a run of ball, in fact, for the first 5 overs, and ended up going for over 100. That was de Villiers at his absolute best. We're back with the live action in Dehra Dun, and Chase has beaten Shafiqullah on the sort of bottom edge there with the attempted wide Yorker from round the wicket. We'll jingle up the new man when he's on strike, because of course they probably could have run 5 in the time that was in the air.
He could have crossed twice.
Had snow on it, didn't it, I think?
Oh yeah,
it was an absolute steepler, wasn't it, right up into the Dehra Dun sky.
Himalayan mountain snow. Afghanistan 191 for 6. The lusciously bearded Shafiqullah goes deep in his crease and is struck on the pad by Peter Chase. Pitched some way outside leg, thuds into the pad. They come through for a leg bye, and the greatest white ball bowler of all time? Question mark.
Rashid Khan, yes please, the best off-stump bowler in the whole silly world, yeah. Rashid Khan, yes please, what you gonna do when he bowls to you, yeah. He's the dream Afghanistan shares, he's the hope for tomorrow. Rashid Khan, yes please.
The best average and strike rate for any male bowler in both ODIs and T20s ever. And handy with the bat too. He tries to drive this down to long off. There is no mid-wicket, and so the thick inside edge is sufficiently slow that the fielder from deep mid-wicket can't get in time, and Rashid Khan picks up 2, 194 for 6.
Got a strange looky-likey as well for you, not for you, but for Rashid Khan. Anyone who watches the UK show The Last Leg will be familiar with Alex Brooker. And look at their little faces next to each other. I think you could see a striking similarity.
There's a little bit of that. Any tweets, Ed?
Yeah, Abhishek Chopra, are you commentating on live match or just the highlights? And the falling sweep pull was Can I Indeed. In another universe, he and Becker of the falling volley fame would have compared notes.
Well, Boris Becker was the full-length launch out of a torpedo tube volley.
Even when it was right at him, sometimes.
Pirate Badshaw says, Simi's only bowled 1 over. I really just don't see the point in that with the seamers being murdered again.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I think he only bowled, 1 over in the second game, and only 3 balls in the first game when he was filling in for Stuart Thompson, who went off injured partway through. Yeah, but with Dockrell bowling well, I wonder why they're persisting with the seamers. It is seam. Rankins on him starts with a wide, very, very wide outside off stump. Stuart Pointer's had a hell of a workout in these 3 games.
Yol again on the tweets. The story of Ireland's problem: lack of penetration. Batting all right, bowling not exactly.
Yeah, and they fielded very well, bar a couple of drops the other day, possibly with a wet ball as mitigation after the sprinklers went off after 1 over yesterday. Rankin still hasn't got his over underway legitimately. That's an even wider wide.
2 of these on the trot now.
Wide.
Yeah, just trying not to give Shafiqullah anything in his arc, but you don't have to stray too far. I mean, that was barely on the cut strip by the time it passed Shafiqullah.
That was a Steve Harmison at the
almost.
Yeah.
Almost. Rankin trying to get this over underway, and Shafiqullah down on one knee. He's played it's been tipped over the bar by Simi Singh at mid wicket. Shafiqullah down on one knee, trying to play the sort of falling over slog sweep over deep mid wicket. Got probably more under it than he expected, but Simi Singh down to the mid wicket boundary just couldn't hold on with the force of the shot, jumping and leaping backwards, trying to claw it back in, but slightly mistimed his jump and just tipped it over his own head. So the first ball, as it were, has gone for 8.
2, 4, 6.
I think they've actually changed the field now. I think Simi Singh's come off the mid-wicket boundary and someone
a bit
taller
taller
has been put there, maybe Kevin O'Brien. That's outside off stump. Shafiqullah down on one knee again. The wide Yorker. He's rather sliced this though, and safely taken by Stuart Thompson down there at long off. He didn't blink at all. It rather looked as though Shafiqullah from the outset had got under this more than through it, and sliced high into the Himalayan skies, and Boyd Rankin has a wicket.
So get on your bike and take a hike right out of here.
Oh, we're just checking this wasn't a no ball. Ooh, that's close.
Your history,
You know what? That's close, and that might be a no ball. We're just going to rock and roll this backwards, I think. Oh, I don't know why we're looking at this again. For some reason, the TV director has decided to show us the shot rather than the front foot. But looking at that from the one replay that we got, I think that Boyd Rankin might have failed to get anything behind the line.
It's just whether, when it first landed, there was a tiny pimple behind that line.
It might be one of these that has the foot has landed and slid. But no, yes, I think the third umpire believes that is what has happened. And Shafiqullah Shafaq is on his way for 12, caught by Stuart Thompson off the bowling of Boyd Rankin. Another 200 plus total though for Afghanistan, 202 for 7 in the 19th over.
And Rankin's figures are extraordinary. I mean, before this game he'd taken 3 for 70 odd. He's taken another. How many has he taken today? 2 or 3?
That's his third.
That's his third. So he's taken 6. But for a test, those figures are actually ridiculous to compare. But those figures in a test match, 5 for 120, you'd take that as a fast bowler.
Average-wise, he's doing average and strike rate-wise, he's doing very well.
The economy rate is, well, through the roof, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's been the story of certainly the second and third of these games. Yeah. The first one was a low-scoring thriller. Another all-rounder comes to the crease, not done any great shakes in T20 with the bat, but he's got lovely eyes. He's to the crease now. We'll jingle him up after this ball from Boyd Rankin, which is full outside off stump. A good wide Yorker, an attempted cover drive, but missed through to the keeper. There is no run.
Yeah, it's this chap.
he lives off your pain. When you lose the game, he's coming not just for your life, but your soul.
Sharafuddin Ashraf out in for the first game, out for the second in favour of Samiullah Shenwari, back in for this game, and gets off the mark with a full toss from Boyd Rankin that he slaps a one bounce down to long off, bringing the great Rashid Khan back onto strike. 7 balls left of this innings. Afghanistan 204 for 7. Any more tweets, Ed?
Yeah, Armchair Cricket Podcast, listening to Shakespeare's radio commentary, guerrilla cricket for Afghanistan against Ireland, and watching the live TV coverage of India-Australia.
Yeah, some wickets falling there as well. That's the last ball of Boyd Rankin's spell of the T20 leg of this tour is back for length and whipped by Rashid Khan out to George Dockrell at mid-wicket, all along the ground. 1 over left. Rashid Khan will be on strike for it. Yeah, there's been another wicket. Krunal Pandya caught by Glenn Maxwell off the bowling of Nathan Coulter-Nile for 1. India are 100 for 6 after 15 overs. KL Rahul also, and Dinesh Karthik also recently dismissed. So they're in Visakhapatnam. India 100 for 6 after 15 overs. MS Dhoni is at the crease on 14 not out, but really it is into the bowlers now, because the next 4 to come: Umesh Yadav, Yuzvendra Chahal, Mayank Markanday, the leg spinner, making his debut, and Jasprit Bumrah, none of whom can bat. So Nathan Coulter-Nile with 3 wickets. So Australia on top in Vizag. Afghanistan looking to finish strong here in Dehra Dun, as Peter Chase bowls a really good slower ball, the first ball of the last over, bowling round the wicket to back of the hand slower ball, which dips on Rashid Khan. He tries to dab this down to the third man boundary. There is no run. 205 for 7.
That really was a slow ball, wasn't it? That was like the old Brian Lara cricket sort of 30 kmh difference.
Yeah, it's almost like you hear him grunt as he delivers it. 3 men behind square, saving 1 on the offside and a short fine leg. Rashid Khan tries to hit this straight. He's rather toe-ended this up in the air, again trying to sort of manufacture the angle, going across to the offside. It was a good wide Yorker again from Chase. He tried to go over mid-wicket. It's come off the toe end of the bat and rather stung his hands, and just looped up in the air and dropped safely on the circle at mid-off. They come through for a single.
And Rashid Khan is still vibrating after that one.
Yeah, that's come right off the juddering toe of Rashid Khan with his Afghan-coloured gloves. 4 balls left. Peter Chase round the wicket to the right-handed Sharafuddin Ashraf. A slower ball again, and just driven by Sharafuddin out to the skipper Paul Sterling. At mid-wicket he fields just the single. Good start to the last over by Peter Chase, who's been hit around by Mohammad Nabi, as indeed were most of the Irish bowlers. Hazratullah started in typically brutal mode, but he was dismissed. It was Mohammad Nabi with his 81 that has done most of the damage. We'll give you the scorecard at the end of the innings. 3 balls left to Peter Chase. Right arm round the wicket. Another slower ball sliced by Rashid Khan. Bounces short of Josh Little at short third man. I don't think they have come through for the single again. Rashid Khan trying to flay that over deep square leg, and well, I'm not quite sure whether he was trying to go over deep square leg or cover. Such was the lack of shape on the shot, but it ended up just skewing to short third man.
Very good over so far, this from Peter Chase.
Yeah, he's had a clear plan round the wicket, bowling full and wide across the right-handers, trying to make them manufacture angles. We haven't seen any attempts at sort of falling over flicks over short fine leg yet. They're trying to flay everything over the man at extra cover, who's also up in the circle. We've got 2 short third men, so a short third man and a short fourth man, short fine leg and a cover up in the circle. Everyone else back. Chase in leg delivery, which is exactly what Sharafuddin was looking for, but he didn't really get under this at all, and it just dribbles out to Balbirnie at long on, who drives the ball before he hands it back to Peter Chase. 1 ball left of the innings.
Yeah, it has been an excellent over this from Peter Chase. He totally did Rashid Khan with the first couple of deliveries. One which was like what I used to call a chap I used to captain. He used to bowl super duper slower loopers. He didn't thank me for writing that at the end of season report, but that's exactly what that one was. And the second one that judded the end of Rashid Khan's bat, and he's only gone for what, 4?
5. Yeah, 5 off the over, and it might be 6, I think, off the over. Sorry, these are 4 off the over, 5 off the over. It will be an LBW appeal to end the Afghanistan innings. Full on leg stump, probably outside leg stump. A huge LBW appeal from Peter Chase, and in all the confusion, Rashid Khan came through for a single. It's been given, in fact, because there was a little bit of under edge as well. So a very good last over from Peter Chase, just going for 5, but Afghanistan end 210 for 7. Peter Chase got some tap, as indeed did the rest of the Irish bowlers. We see Phil Simmons, the Afghanistan coach, striding out to the middle at Dehra Dun, and I'm going to make way for not Fred Titmus. In fact, while I do that, Grub is going to read you the scorecard.
Yeah, no problem. So Afghanistan finished with 210 for 7. Hazratullah Zazai got 31 after just 17 deliveries before he was caught by Sterling bowled Rankin. Usman Ghani was LBW to Rankin for 13. Najib Tarakai caught Balbirnie, bowled Dockrell for 17. Captain Ashgar Afghan was caught. Thompson bowled Kate for 20. Then we had the brutal hitting of Najibullah Zadran, who scored 81 off just 35 or 36 deliveries. Najibullah Zadran was run out by George Dockrell. Smart piece of work there to run him out for 12. And then Shafiqullah was caught. Thompson bowled Rankin for 12. Rashid Khan remained not out 7. And Shafiqullah Sharafuddin Ashraf was not out 3 as well. So 210 for 7 from their 20 overs. There's another, I mean, it's a pretty formidable total. Anything over 200 I would say is a formidable total in T20. It's not close to what they got yesterday, 268. But this still puts them in a very strong position to win this match.
Oh yes.
How long is the innings break?
We have no idea. It can be anything from about 5 minutes to 15. So I'm under instructions from Knackle to Wibble. So Wibble we shall. We move from the T20s. I know we're in the middle of a game, but we move to the ODI 50-over games of this series between Ireland and Afghanistan. I'm not sure exactly when they start. Doubtless Knackle will come in and tell me in a second.
Very soon, I believe.
Do we think, gentlemen, that Ireland have got a better chance in the 50-over game than the 20-over game?
I would say so. I think 2020 is probably Ireland's worst format, isn't it? I think in terms of the rankings, I think they're possibly...
in terms of the Boyds.
Boyd rankings, yes.
I didn't do the bowling figures, so look away.
They're always fun.
Look away or listen away now if you don't want to hear these, because some of them make for pretty ghastly reading. Simi Singh bowled just the 1 over, the first over of the innings, which went for 5 runs. A bit surprising, therefore, he wasn't called back into the attack thereafter, but he wasn't. Boyd Rankin taking wickets and leaking runs. That's been the story of his series, really. 4 overs, 3 for 53, economy rate of 13 and a bit. Peter Chase bowled a very good last over, and his figures overall were 1 for 38 from his 4. I was going to call him Stuart Little there. I like that. Josh Little, 3 overs for 45, took some horrendous tap, particularly at the hands of Mohammed Nabi. Stuart Thompson, 2 overs for 16. George Dockrell, 4 overs, 1 for 26. And Shane Getcate, 2 overs, 1 for 21, having gone for just 2, I think, in his first over. So, again, some car crash scenes out there. That's what the game's all about.
Because the first game, admittedly, Ireland batted first in that game and only managed to get about in the 130s, and actually did quite well to get that to get that far. But even then, they made some sort of a fist of defending it. And there was a time when the match was in balance. As it happens, Afghanistan won it pretty comfortably, although they had lost 5 wickets in doing it, and it was, as I say, in the balance at certain times. So to go from that 135 versus 136 in whatever it was, 19 overs, to the carnage of yesterday, and the relatively carnigeous, is that a word?
It is now.
Carnivorous?
210, which is comfortably over 10 and over. It's almost exactly 10 and a half and over, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, Ed made the point that this is perhaps Ireland's weakest format of the game, which I think...
do you think the Afghan batsmen have sized up the Irish bowlers and know what they've got and what their variations are?
Well, also in that first game, Ireland were having to set their own fractions, to use a racing term, and perhaps they thought that they, even though they struggled to get to 130, that was at least a total on the board. And then the very next day, that gargantuan 260, they had to recalibrate and scored 191 of their own. So who knows? Perhaps if they'd taken a different approach that first game.
Okay, so whilst we're wibbling, I haven't. This may have been asked earlier, Ed, but perhaps you can give us some background into your cricketing expertise.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as expertise, but I've played for about...
Play the game.
Played for about 30 years.
Yeah.
Played for about 30 years. Obviously been involved in my club for the last 20 odd.
Which part of the country is that?
It's the club's in Herefordshire, but we play in the Worcester League, so feeder to the Birmingham League, so pretty strong league. Played against some decent players. We actually played against Andre Russell back in the day.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and obviously played at school, played for Worcester Juniors. And
in what era would that have been?
This was in 90s.
90s, okay. Well, Worcestershire were a very good,
Yeah, I was a kid just when they had the sort of golden era, late 80s with Beefy and Hick and Dilly and the 88 and 89 won the championship 2 years in a row. Phil Newport, yeah, Neil Radford, Richard Illingworth, Steve Rhodes,
and
Tim Curtis.
Lots of green wickets at Worcester. He says bitterly. And then you've am I right in thinking you've moved into journalism?
Yeah, just recently, yeah, rather belatedly, but yeah.
Right, you're coming in at a good time because it's booming. Oh no, wait, no, sorry, I'm thinking something. What do they say? Learn to code. That's what they're telling journalists nowadays. Sports journalism?
Yeah.
Right, just cricket or
cricket and I've done a little bit on American football. I actually did an article on esports the other day. I'm not even sure what most people know what esports actually is, but it's basically computer games.
Computer games.
Yeah,
yes.
basically computer games.
Well, listen. If people who aren't watching the stream we're watching will not see two men in comfortable jackets standing round a mustard-coloured cricket Subbuteo board.
It's a sort of mixture of Subbuteo and the old Test match game, isn't it? With the ball bearing and the shoot.
And at each end they've got a can of the sponsor's product. I think it's called Sting. They've got a yellow Sting and a red Sting. And they're talking about field placings. And having been here for the first T20, I can tell you they can do this for ages. They can discuss field placings. They're really on top of their game. One of them's holding a ball, and they're very animated as they move little men inside the circle and outside the circle.
Well, it is exactly like the cricket version of Subbuteo, isn't it? As we were saying earlier on. You took a catch, didn't you, by having a sort of plastic ring in between your feet, rather bizarrely, if you were a fielder.
Yeah, test the ball bearing. Had to catch
take
the
one
ball
through the ring. And when they finish with this, they head back to their very plush leather armchairs. And sit down and discuss other sponsors' products, mostly Pepsi related, I have to say. But you're missing this. This is on Afghanistan television, and it's great. It's great entertainment. Unfortunately, we don't understand a word of. We don't even. What language do we know that they're speaking? Pashto.
Pashto, I suppose. Yeah, the sound's not up, and my Pashto lip reading is not what it should be.
Well, we need to get in some better commentators in that case, but.
Just generally,
bear in mind that what is a very small. What's the radius of that thing? It's probably 2 feet round. This table. It is ringed with sponsors' logos, which is a fantastic thing to see. Which I don't think. I know Subbuteo football used to have it, but I don't think Subbuteo cricket did it? They didn't have little triangles of adverts around the side. But good for Afghani television. They're milking it for all it's worth.
Very big stumps. Actually, the stumps are taller than the players.
Yeah, they are. It's slightly misleading. I mean, I'm not sure what a can of drink is doing at either end. If you are watching the stream, look at that on the floor. They've actually got a matting, a bit of cricket matting with a bat and some stumps and some balls dotted around. White balls, red balls. They've obviously sent the runner out from the studio and said, "Get us lots of cricket-related stuff, and just we'll dot it around the studio." But they're very animated. He's still moving. He's moving the third man up. He's moving the third man back. Oh, this is very exciting. Anyway, at some
this
point...
is like the esports version of commentary.
This is...
He's only got one fielder outside the ring. Is that allowed?
Yes. You can have everybody inside the ring. Now they're putting the mid on and mid off back. But have they got exactly 11 players on the pitch? I haven't counted.
With those actual cans of the sponsor's product there, it reminds me of a tour to... Was it a tour of the UAE a few years ago that England went on, and there was what people thought for a few seconds was an explosion of some sort, and it was actually one of those giant Pepsi things that they wheeled out.
I think it was Pakistan, wasn't it? One of the last series in Pakistan.
Maybe
I think it might have been the game when Shahid Afridi decided to do some dancing.
That was it.
And bite the ball, did he bite the ball, or did he dance up and down a length?
I think he bit the ball in Australia.
He pirouetted, didn't he, in the middle of the pitch while all this hullabaloo was going on about whether it was an explosion or not. Good bloke.
Always take advantage of the situation. They're very nattily dressed, these Afghani presenters, I must say.
Very smart haircut as well.
And his pocket square, a nice burgundy colour. It's all very smart. Anyway, at some point the Irish batsmen are going to come out to attack this total, which was 210. So 10.5 needed per over. And what do we think, gents, is the likelihood of Ireland chasing this down?
Well, they scored 194, didn't they, yesterday? So
I'd say 1 in 4. We're about to start.
Are we? Oh, we are back very quickly. The first ball of the innings, Paul Sterling's on strike. He, I believe, has a jingle.
Paul Sterling!
That's the one. And he's facing, well, he's got a different name on the back of his shirt and on the screen. So Your guess is as good as mine. It was a short ball. He tried to pull it. He missed it completely, and it bounced twice before it got through to the wicketkeeper. So the great chase to 211 has started with a dot ball.
And it's this chap.
Who's on now? See ya, array man. See ya, array man. Array man. Who's on now? See ya, array man. See ya, array man. On now. Who's on now?
90s club classic there. Who was that?
Rayman being played by Dustin Hoffman.
Was it someone like Hadaway?
Yes. What is love?
What is